Hi, everybody. This is our Health Heroes series. And, I'm so pleased, so proud in many ways to welcome Manavi Khanna and her mother, Saumya Khanna, Dr. Saumya Khanna, I should say. Manvi is a 17-year-old student who sort of, came to Sepalika with a bunch of issues that a lot of young women may be quite familiar with. Irregular periods that had recently started, weight gain that was stubborn, and painful periods, all of that. And she had the foresight, between her mother, who's a medical doctor, and herself, had the foresight to look into deeper root causes rather than just use a pill to fix an ill, as we say. So rather than just going on birth control pills or looking for some kind of swallowing pill solution, Manvi decided to look deeper into her lifestyle, into her diet, and that's the journey that she's been on. So without taking up too much of time on this recording, let me straight go to Manvi. So Manvi, can you begin to tell us, just describe your journey in your own words? How was it that you sort of, got started? Just take us through what's happened.
Hi guys. I'm Manavi, and basically, I've always been a heavier child, like all my life, and it was towards like the 8th or 9th grade that I started working out a lot. Like I was really active. I lost a bunch of weight, and yeah, I was really fit, and all of that was going well in my life. I never really bothered too much about my hormones because my periods were like always normal, just having the good flow that I did. So I never really thought about that I had like any hormonal issues. Then I believe it was 10th grade, and because I was doing the ICSC board, I had a lot of pressure on me because you had to study for the boards and everything. And that's the time where I gained a lot of weight. And then I transitioned into a hostel in my 11th grade, which was a shift in place, in food, in water, everything. And it was really overwhelming, like the whole shift. And so I really started to gain a lot of weight, and it was then that I realized how much weight I'd actually gained. So it was in December when I came back to my home that my mother and my parents like saw me, and they thought that it was really abnormal for me to just gain a bunch of weight in a matter of 2 months. It was really unusual, and because my mom's a doctor, she knew that there was something more than just me eating unhealthy things or me experiencing a shift. So I think it was in January that I got my reports, and they were not great. Um, and from then on was the time that I realized that I need to lose weight. But that was the only thing that I had in my mind. I always thought that I need to lose weight in order to achieve some sort of fitness that I had in my mind. But then I came back home because my school shut down because of COVID and everything. And then that's where mom came in with Sepalika, and she was like, "This is something that I've heard about. I think we should try it, and they would really like help you with your hormones, and not just like losing weight, but yeah, just like the whole molecular profile of your yeah."
Not to sort of, let the cat out of the bag, but, what's your current sort of, from the time when you started to now, what's the difference in your weight at the moment?
So do you want me to give numbers like?
Just the sort of total weight loss, even if
Okay,
you don't want
so
to.
the total weight loss was from December, which was my highest, to October, which was my lowest, like the most low I've been. So that was 20 kilos, exactly 20 kilos. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. And your periods are now regular. You've had 4 regular periods since you began with Sepalika, since July.
Yes.
Awesome, awesome, fantastic. We'll come back to you on more of your journey, Manvi. But Doc, this is, I think, the right segue to ask you. So when Manvi came back and you looked at her reports, what did you think? And what was your initial reaction? And why did you pick Sepalika?
When I saw Manvi, I didn't feel good that there was something wrong, like with her entire metabolism, her entire functioning of her, the organs, and not only was the weight gain, which was a problem I could see, but in general, I could see her, the entire personality was taking a toll on her. and there was something which was not good, which really affected my, that senses that no, I have to, do something about it, and I have to, get after her, and of course find some way to, give her some, there's path to, she should take, and she should be happy about it. So then I must say thanks to Sheroz ji. He has been a great, I have always looked upon him, and for every thing, I have always taken his advice. And he said that you must try this Sepalika program.
Okay. For the benefit of
Initially,
viewers who may not know Sharozi, let me just quickly say that Sharoz Rizvi is professor of acupressure at AcuSanstan in Allahabad. He's
yes,
also on the advisory board with Sapalika and very actively involved with our patients as well. So that's Sharoz Bhai. But as a medical doctor, Dr. Soumya, what would have been a normal sort of gynecological approach to this? And did you try that?
yeah, in fact, I had taken my daughter, my Manvi, to one of my very close gynecological doctor, and she in fact told me that she should uh, take a diet regime, and she should not only she should get her investigated, and but also she should concentrate on her diet and how she should eat, and what her lifestyle would be, and she just guided me on that. And of course she's told me, she said if she's unable to perform with her diet and her lifestyle, then we might have to give her some hormonal therapies, and we might have to put her on some medication which will eventually get her back. So that was really something which I just couldn't take it, because these hormone medicines, these these medications which we have in allopathy, they eventually, they in long run they really affect you. So I was quite clear about it, that I'll have to try some other ways and means to get her back. So instead of trying these medications and hormones, I thought that I would first try this program. And though I was very apprehensive about this online program, because obviously it was something which was I didn't know much about it, and I'm not very computer savvy. So little online thing was not uh, very comfortable with me. But then of course I said no, I'll give a try, and I'll definitely um, make a initiative, and I'll see how we go about it. And of
Fantastic.
course it would really help me and
Well,
help
thank you so much for
Manvi.
your honesty, doctor. You've really spoken the minds of not just as a medical professional, but even as a parent. It's not easy for anybody to believe in an online program. Of course, the younger generation, Manvi and her, people in that age group do understand that everything, it's a world that's connected. It's a world that's online. So a lot of stuff can happen online. But I think, back to you, Manvi, to really understand how did the sort of fortnightly calls work for you? Did you feel comfort from early on? Were you able to WhatsApp any queries that you had? If you could take us through some more of your journey.
Yeah, the fortnight calls actually were pretty. I feel like they were very wisely placed. Some in some way, because I think a weekly check-in would be too early, and then a monthly check-in would be too late. So I think a check-in every 2 months would give you a good journey on if the patient's actually feeling demotivated, or if they're halfway through they're just uncomfortable with something that's happening in their lifestyle, and something that doesn't sit right with them. So I feel like the time spacing between those calls really worked for me. Something else that was new and that was also very helpful was the fact that I could just put in my query on the WhatsApp group, which was dedicated to my own like program, and I knew the people who were there to help me, and I knew exactly who does what and what am I exactly, supposed to do and expect from in return. So I feel like the WhatsApp group really sort of gave me a better approach to Sepalika, considering it is an online program and not a program which you sort of have to go in a clinic to follow. So yeah.
Did you kind of miss the actual physical interaction? Is it something that, or your generation is kind of ready to take this on?
I mean, I think we're pretty good with just remaining online. I think it was a lot less intimidating for me, because I've always been someone who's never been comfortable with showing my weight on the scale. And even when I had to do the morning weight check-ins, like I would go in my room and I'd close my room, and I would look at the weight and then go like, oh, okay, 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 and then just slowly text on the WhatsApp group and then come out of the room and be like, yeah, so I lost this much. And yeah, so I feel like for me personally, the kind of person I am, I think the online thing was way more preferable than the face to face, and our circumstances didn't really allow us to be face to face at that time or this time anyway. So yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, I think it's, we didn't know Corona was going to happen, but we knew that if we had to reach thousands of young ladies, if we had to reach lakhs of women finally, whether it was for, these sorts of problems, the weight gain, the irregular periods that you felt, other women even face more severe problems, but we were always clear that we would have to win the trust of our patients online. You had to make sure that they felt like somebody was always there for you, and that you were taken care of. It wasn't a one size fits all program. Stuff got personalized for you, and make sure that your living circumstances, especially we get a lot of young ladies who are in PGs, who are in either in their first job or in college, and they don't have access to a kitchen. Not everybody is fortunate to have, be able to be completely in control of their food. So what should they eat, how should they eat within the wise choices, how can you avoid the momos, so called healthy, unfortunately, nothing but sticky maida in there. So there's a lot of stuff that we've learned over time ourselves, but we're so happy that the whole online sort of model suited you. Would you say, Manvi, that you've sort of, I heard you say earlier that you're making far better choices now? Are you able to tell what works for you, what doesn't work for you, now that you've been off the program for a month? You finished your program with Sepalika in October. You've gone another month now. Do you feel like you're still in control of what's happening with your diet, with your life, etc.? You're far more aware?
Yeah, I feel like since we do this program for a good 3 months, um, it becomes a part of your lifestyle to an extent that it's almost normal to have those things. So even when I transitioned into my hostel, or even when I stopped Sepalika, yes, there was more frequent intake of let's say food that I didn't eat before. But I feel like on the days that I did eat the food that I did eat, I was very comfortable with sort of dividing my plate. Like, I think somewhere along after the first month of me being a part of Sepalika, the nutritionist told me that, this is how your plate should look like. And she made me visualize what my plate exactly should look like. And I feel like that has really stuck to me, and I try to implement that even when I'm here, like in my hostel. I make sure, do I have veggies, do I have pulse, do I have a protein, do I have, am I eating only one source of carb, either rice or either roti. So I'm continuing to do that. So yeah.
Awesome, awesome. I'm so glad, when somebody repeats this back to us, that's when we know it's actually gotten through. So it's fantastic to, hear this kind of beautiful recall. For the benefit of the viewers, we will, I think, when we edit this in, we'll show you the typical plate that we recommend to everybody. It's a free resource. If you can follow it by yourself, you'll begin to see benefits. You don't even need to start formally with Sepalika. But, any sort of parting thoughts from you, doctor, as a medical person? What was your experience like? What would you advise young women and their mothers to do?
See, the first thing which I noticed in this program was that uh, basic was how devoted you are towards this program, how you are taking this program, where in what direction you are taking into. See, till you don't think from your point of view that you have to do this program, you have to, take the maximum out of this program, till then I don't think you should, even think of going ahead. So firstly, it should be from inside, that you have to lose weight, you have to be all right, you have to feel healthy, you have to, be energetic. So that was a very big thing which I somehow felt that my daughter, she could, sense that, and then only we started ahead with this. And secondly, which I feel that everybody should think in that those lines are that one should have a very good lifestyle. It should be very, very, I don't say that, it should be like perfect, but it should be kind of balanced. Then only if you respect your body, the body will respect you. It's like that, it's give and take. So that way I somehow feel that we should
Fantastic,
be,
fantastic. No, I
this is
agree
how we
with
should be
you.
healthy.
Yeah, I agree with you completely, doctor. So, at Sepalika, we keep trying to make sure that we introduce the sorts of changes that even if you make it once, it pays off for life. So, we keep looking for those big changes. Like when we change the cooking oils in a home, then the first time it's a struggle. Somebody is used to some oil, somebody is used to a sunflower oil or a ultra refined vegetable oil. But when you change them over to ghee or to saturated fat or to cold pressed oils, it is a change, but once you make the change, then the benefits are for life, because now the house has changed a habit, right?
Mhm.
Again, the way that Manvi described it, everything else, even if she forgets, as long as she remembers the typical healthy plate, we are home dry, right? So she'll always know, even after a binge evening with friends or something, she knows what the next day's plate has got to look like. And once you've got that sorted, we always say there's an 80-20 rule. Nobody can be virtuous 100% of the time. There will be birthdays, there will be anniversaries, there will be parties, there will be cake. So you really can't stay away from those things. But if you've got the 80-20 rule sorted, then you're home dry, which is what we try to do at Sepalika. I really, I mean, because of internet being such a fickle medium and everybody wanting short videos, I will call this to a close. But thank you so much for your time. Thank you both for being our
Thank
first
you.
health heroes.
Thank
I think this will go a long way in helping others understand that you really need to get to the root cause of why something is happening and not just take a pill and forget it. Thank you again.
thank you.